Brightest blessings, everyone. Psychic medium Elizabeth Grove, the Paranormal Priestess, here with your angel channel messages for the month of February. And I know that many of you are going to be very happy to hear a lot of what has come out in these messages, because it's certainly a reprieve from what we've experienced in January. For those of you who are new, hi, welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. Perhaps your guides have guided you over to this video. If so, I thank them, or perhaps you just took a chance and you clicked on it. I am a medium, divine channeler, and a remote spirit extractor specialist, and I offer readings all over the world as well as very unique high-level clearing work. And I connect with divine beings as well as the beloveds of the twin flames. And I also can speak to those who are on the other side. And I happen to also be a twin flame on the twin flame journey for a number of years. I'm on the path to union. And everything that I have learned throughout the years and everything that I've learned from my spiritual team, what I've learned from my beloved in his higher self form, it's really helped me to be able to provide people with a lot of different messages, guidance, and just be able to assist where I can. And this is most definitely my mission, and I'm really just blessed to be able to do it. So what I want to first start out with February is that this is most definitely going to be a month of liberation. It truthfully is. And for so many of you in January, I know that January was a very rough month. And it was. And what the angels have shared with me is that January, in fact, was a month where so much was coming up to the surface in terms of beliefs and patterns and habits, really detaching from so much that has really brought our vibration down. It's really dulled us. So we're talking about all types of toxicities, also detaching from people. For many, it's going to be detaching from karmic soulmates. Just a lot of detachment. And I can say that, you know, it was definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. We had the supermoon in January, and so we went through that, and there was a lot of toxicity that came up in ways that were mental and emotional, and a lot of ascension symptoms. I mean, we had a whole flushing out, bringing into the higher energies and flushing out of a lot of toxins. And so I've heard a lot of clients say to me that, wow, you know, I really didn't think that such and such was going to come up again, and lo and behold, you know, I'm having those same patterns or that same issue come up, and it just came up with a vengeance, and it was there to really release for good. So I know that many of you had a very difficult time in January. I did as well. Just a lot of emotional things, you know, really like angers and things like that. Past hurts and all these things that we have clung to. So February, they had said, is going to be a month where we're going to detach from so much of that, and it's more so of a transformation. Okay, so we are transforming. Like I always say at the end of the shows, end of the YouTubes, is from the heart of the darkness is born the light. And so from that death comes a new life. We have to go through that death. And January, in so many ways, felt like that shadowy side, those shadows coming up. So a lot of it is our own stuff. A lot of it also comes from our beloved. And I had some people also contact me about that they weren't able to connect with their twin's higher self. I experienced that as well. And that sometimes scares people, and they feel like, oh, maybe the journey is over. Maybe I'm just not a twin anymore. Maybe this whole thing was just some cruel joke, and maybe it's just not meant to happen in the physical. And we had a lot of those things that came up in January, as well as the intermission with the beloved. And what I had received is that when that happens, when there is an intermission like that, it's always when we're having the beloved that's being assisted with the harmonizing of themselves, with the things that they need adjustment with their energies. Usually it's a lot of that really hard stuff and that shadowy end, you know, and So that's why that contact doesn't happen. And so we had a lot of those shadows coming up in January. And February, they told me, really promises a liberation, feeling free, having a higher and lighter vibration. And this is really, really good. They really talk about that February is that time where we're going to really step into making a difference in different areas of our physical life. So we've had so much of the spiritual work happen throughout the last couple of years. And now with the 2018 year, which is going to be focused, of course, as I said, on physical unions, for those of you who are twin flames who are watching this, we are finding that now that those transformations that are very necessary, of course, we are bringing that into the physical embodiment. We are bringing it into all our own areas, our everyday life, right? And we are also able to bring that to our twin flame, into our unions. We are really going to have that sense of acceptance now. So for those of you who have had a lot of issues lately, maybe the last couple of months, of having a hard time just accepting the twin flame journey anymore, accepting the truth of it, the truth of your heart, it's been difficult, it's been challenging, you couldn't see your way out of it, you just wasn't sure like how this is actually going to proceed, how is this going to happen in a positive way. We're going to be having a different sense of that now in February, thank goodness. And so having your faith back, having your strength back, really, that word, liberation, that's the word that they give me, the word liberation, to be free, to be able to not be shackled down, to not feel like life is weighing you down, that this twin flame journey is a burden, that life is not working for you. All of these types of things that have come up, and there's been a lot of depression and anxiety, and I think probably for many of you, you can let me know about like emotional outbursts and things in January, but we're going to really see a push forward now in February with a lot more calmer energy, peaceful energy, more in your power. A lot more in your power. That supermoon that we had in January was definitely one that definitely caused a stir in terms of bringing up those shadowy sides of us. And of course, here we go. We have another supermoon. So right now, you know, I'm filming this, but we have the supermoon coming up on Wednesday. But as we're going to have those effects in February, what they say about this supermoon is that it's truly going to bring so much of the realization and the acceptance of the love, of the truth of what this is, why it is. We're not going to be seeing those who are awakening turn away and not be sure about taking the actions now. So that's really good. So February is really going to be a very, very awesome month. And of course, moving forward from there, when it comes to really just knowing that this is what it is, this is what I feel, I can't deny what I feel, these emotions are very strong, I've never felt anything like this before, I may be in a karmic marriage or a karmic partnership and I try to force it to make it work, I try to do anything and everything to avoid it, you know, falling apart for many different reasons, children involved as well, but with this moon, and what February brings, it's going to be, again, detachment from the things that no longer work, no longer serve, and it's going to be that liberation. Finally, the truth shall set you free, right? And that's what February is going to bring. They have also mentioned to me about contacts in the physical, and this is something that is really, really, you know, something that obviously many of you want to know, many of my clients want to know about contact. Should I make contact? Is he or she going to make contact first? And all of that. And the first thing that I want to say about that, comes from my spiritual team is that it's never about should or need to, because this is not a union that's coming from that place of need. It's always going to be what's in the highest good. But what my team tells me about February is that we're going to be looking at a lot more of the contacts and the physical, but they're going to happen in a very positive way, because we've done so much of the clean out, and so much of that stuff, those shadows that came up and that toxicity that came up in January, that's been released. So many of those fears and all of that, we are going to be looking at so much more of a positive contact, of being in the place of trusting this, trusting what you feel, trusting in source, accepting what's happening currently in the moment, accepting where your beloved's at, accepting where you are, accepting also what this is, accepting that that connection is there, it's undeniable. It cannot be, it's not a connection to run from any longer. The beloveds are not in that place anymore of truly running. We are really in the energies. The energies speak of realizing, the truth and just embracing it and just going with it. So many of you will feel like you're taking risks, but you're really going to make that contact. And if you're guided to do so, the angels are saying that they're going to be there to help you. You can ask them and they will assist you, but if you feel like to make contact with your twin is what you're getting, it's not that it's going to be like it was in the past. Don't compare it to the past, because we are in totally new energies. So, some of you may have, I don't want to say have to, but may be in the place where it's going to be in the highest good to help your twin out in terms of contact, perhaps. And so it's not about falling into ego and saying to yourself, well, why should I have to be the one? Why do I have to do this? Why can't he or she do it? It's not about that. It's truthfully about just recognizing and accepting. Again, there's that word accepting the energy, accepting, that your beloved could use some assistance with this, and you can help them, and they will now come into that awareness of things. When I say awareness, I mean awareness of the twin flame dynamic, of the connection, and be in the place of accepting it. Okay, so now we're going to be seeing a lot of the beloveds now in February are going to be taking the time to learn about what it is they're experiencing, and because it's not something that they can ignore any longer. If they've attempted to do that, they're unable to. They're unable to, because it's there and it's been blooming inside of them. It's very, very intense, and it can't be put on the back burner anymore. How can you put love on the back burner? And with that love that's so intense, it's just who you are. And it's once you're able to clear away, all those doubts and all of those fears and all those belief systems that kept you from really accepting the truth. And we've had so much of that. Now we're in the energies where it's assisting with the acceptance of this dynamic, and then moving forward into taking physical action and making positive physical contacts. So this is awesome. I have some notes, so I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. The angels have a way of having me bring out things, and I usually get everything. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I pretty much this is really, really it. I really kind of covered everything, but they also mentioned, and just to kind of reiterate more about the acceptance that you're a twin flame, if you are on this journey and you are watching this, it's more so in February, it's going to be a renewal of that faith and that trust that you are if you have lost your faith in it. And the faith being lost because of all of the stages, the very difficult stages, having to get through that. And also to, many of the separations that were in the physical, and many of the situations that you may have felt that you were stuck and you just had no way of moving in it, and you just really didn't know if there was going to be some sort of solution to this. And so in February, this will be, again, the detachment of that, the liberation from that. And definitely you will be, if you lost that place, you will be back in that place of accepting it once again. And really moving ahead full force with your heart, knowing that here's my heart, this I'm not going to let this tell me what the truth is, because this is the truth. Again, that's the acceptance. So it's not just on your beloved who's awakening's end to realize and to accept what they are feeling and this connection. It's also you out there as well who may be watching this, who have maybe been on the journey for many years, who have suffered through a lot. And I know this is not an easy journey whatsoever. And I am not the type of person, though, to be on YouTube and to give it a really negative spin and to just preach how horrible it is and be dramatic like that. And that's not, because the whole truth of this, the higher picture of this, is what the angels always reiterate. And actually, yes, they wanted to reiterate this again, is that the higher picture of bringing these loves, I'm going to say it as many times as I can, bringing these loves here to the physical. It's very, very important. And I get, comments here and there on YouTube about, maybe this is not meant to happen in the physical, and maybe it's not supposed to happen, and it's just some sort of learning lesson and growth for me, and that's about it. Yes, it is learning lesson. Yes, it is growth for you. As a twin flame, we are working always towards self-mastery. And we are working towards ascending. So we're graduating souls. But the thing is that if you are a twin flame watching this, or if you're even a light worker, you have chosen to come here and to bring your energies. You came here to make those changes. And what the angels always say is that with the beloveds, they promised before the thrones of the mother and the father, that you were going to come together, you were going to reunite, and you were going to bring that third energy, which is very, very important and very transmutive on this planet. And you were going to bring a new template of what love is. And that templating can only happen when you have the two beloveds with their energies embodied. Okay, so that physical stage, that final stage, and this is what I have channeled. I've also spoken to others who have channeled the same thing. These physical embodiments are so necessary, okay? And that's definitely a huge part of accepting, being strong in this, liberating yourself from the illusions that you maybe have started believing because it just got to be too crazy for you and too intense for you and just too heartbreaking for you. But to realize that these unions are really needed in this world. And if I have to say that as many times as I'll say it. I'll say it every video. Because that's what they're giving me. There's still people out there who feel like maybe this is bullshit. This whole thing has been bullshit. And this is just not going to happen for me. And I have to tell you, that is the direct opposite. And, I've used my abilities for a very long time. I've been a medium for a while. I've been a channeler since like 19 years old. And I'm, much older than that now. And that is not what I have been receiving. The angels are always talking about the physical union of this and how we have to go through all of these energetic clean outs and being able to release all these toxicities and purge all of these things out and take on more light and take on more light codes and, upgrade our vessels and all of this. to vibrate higher, so that way we can bring that harmonious, that's the word, harmonious union. Because if you're together in the physical, that's one thing. But if it's not in harmony, so what? It's really about having, again, we're having the beloveds bringing a harmonious, we're merged together energetically, and we're bringing harmony within the physical, and that way they can both bring their purpose or their mission out to people. And of course, the first mission is truthfully about bringing their love. To bring their unconditional love is the greatest mission. Bringing that, and that's that third energy, that energy that they create. They create more energy than the sum of their parts, and they're bringing that. And of course, they have so many beautiful gifts, healing gifts, psychic gifts, so many gifts, gifts in the science areas, gifts in the creative areas, all different fields. And I've talked to twins, I've read for twins that are even in the medical. I mean, we have it everywhere because we need change. We need change in this world. So for those of you who are still believing in the illusion that, no, don't think so, I think I'm going to just go try to find a soulmate. It's not about that. It is not about that. In fact, we are detaching from soulmates, and if we've chosen to be on this twin flame journey, it's not about getting off of it and trying to find a soulmate. It's not. It's truthfully about coming into the place of realization and acceptance, being liberated and free from the illusions and from everything that's kept you here, and to go here. So that's what February is going to bring. They did also mention about dreams, and this is interesting, and so definitely take this with you. This has come up before, but it's coming up for February as well, that there's going to be dreams that many of you are going to have out there, and these dreams with your beloved are going to have specific guidance to them. Pay attention to them, journal them. There's going to be instructions for you in terms of, bringing that action. So whatever it is, but it's definitely going to be assisting you with bringing communication out. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you get a dream that there's some place that you need to visit and your twin's there. Or perhaps you have a dream that you're going to have this very intimate conversation on a phone. You haven't talked to your twin in a long time. Whatever it is, they are saying that there's going to be instructions for you and guidance there in your dreams to pay attention to. Again, February, we're going to see how all of these areas play out in the physical. Everything from how you live your life daily, okay, bringing all of that, and as well as we're going to see now more of the physical connections with the beloveds and positive communication, okay, in a place of trust and acceptance with this. So, as they usually say, the angels want you to really stay compassionate. Be compassionate with your beloved. Try to understand as best as you can that they are doing the best that they can. And all of this is happening very, very swiftly. And that's something else to mention too, is that everything now with beloveds, this year is going to fly, but so are the processes. Everything's going to be very, very accelerated. And they talk about this moon coming, the moon, well, it's for February. I mean, it's going to be playing out its energies. That portal of energy is going to definitely be playing out in February. And that particular super moon is really going to, of course, like usual, it's going to accelerate the processes. So it's going to bring your beloved more remembrance, okay? So that way they can be in a place of realization and then acceptance and then take action. And of course, this moon is going to help you out as well. And so that the moon is really going to help you stay in the faith, or if you've lost it, to have it back again, and to truthfully refresh the entire journey, okay? And where you were fearful with it, you are going to be feeling more confident, more in a place of strength. Excuse me. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a really, really beautiful thing. I want to keep it there. I know some of the videos that I do, some of the messages are rather long, or some of the videos about, you know, guidance are longer, but these are basically the messages, and I think that they are really ones to go with in terms of that, wow, you know, we can finally move forward now and out of this lower, denser energy, all about the transformation. With Druidry, because I follow that path, you know, we talk about like the cauldron, okay? And that's always the place, it's the place of, it's the void, it's the darkness, but then it's also that brand new light, or the new beginning, that spark of hope, that new spark, that new beginning. Okay, and the Druids always, they mention the cauldron, and they mention the Awen, and the Awen is the new creativity, the inspiration, that life. And so we have to go through that cauldron, through that darkness, okay? And it's not a comfortable place to go into that. It's not comfortable to experience our shadows. But there's always a light at the end of that. Okay, and that light is going to be in February. Okay, and I know that, you know, with February, with Valentine's Day, and so with Valentine's Day, everyone, celebrate it. The angels also had mentioned to me, yes, that actually reminds me, goes into that perfectly, about celebrating your beloved, even if you're not in the physical together yet, to celebrate that you are a beloved, celebrate that love, be grateful for it. Know that it's here, that you're never separated from that love, and trust that that love is going to be manifested here. Okay, it's here, and the energies are supporting it in every single way. Okay, so let it be a Valentine's Day, and it's not about the candy companies and the cards and all that. It's truthfully about the love. So celebrate it. Light a pink candle. Do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel that love. Tap into it. Tap into it. Celebrate it in every single way. Archangel Chamuel, fantastic angel to work with and for beloveds. Bring in the pink light, the chakra of love. Raphael's another great archangel, and of course we have St. Valentine as well. So I hope that for many of you who have been struggling, I think that is definitely the word, for the beginning of the year, have been struggling, have been going through a lot of very lower emotions, denser stuff, physical toxicity as well, all of that, who have been struggling and really feeling it, and it's been really rough, please know that there absolutely is hope, and that there is a light, and that the light of February, and February, remember, it's like that springboard into the spring. Springboard into the spring. It's a springboard into that springtime, into that season of rebirth. So we're going to be seeing so many beautiful things happen, I'm telling you. And so just hold on and hit the restart button, the refresh button, and know that your divine team is here, and so is your twin flame union. Perfect. From the heart of the darkness is born the light. If you would like to have a reading session, a divine channel reading session with me, I am absolutely available. I just need to check to see if we are a vibration, because everything I do is with being within resonation. So I will check on that. So you can always contact me and I'll let you know. theparanormalpriestess.com. You can like the page on Facebook, The Paranormal Priestess, and you can follow me on Twitter at ParaPriestessYT. I'm going to leave all of that in the description. And thank you, subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, maybe you would like to do that. Definitely would love to have you here, so please subscribe. And I will see all of you next week. Take care. Much love. Brightest blessings. Bye, guys.